Greetings and salutations. Unfortunately for you, I'm back with another video. It's been a while since I've done a product review in a while. And I bought something off of Amazon this past week. Fantasy Open Role Playing Game Engine by Oliver Fradgley. Fradgley? Ollie. We'll call him Ollie. Uh, Listed on the front cover as OSR, BX, and D&D compatible. And I very much see that. It lists a lot of it lists in the back the inspirations on a lot of things. So Knave, Maze Rats, Old School Essentials, Basic Fantasy RPG, D&D Rule Cyclopedia, Mythic Game Master Emulator, Universal NPC Emulator, Ironsworn and Ironsworn Delve, Stars and Worlds Without Numbers, Scarlet Heroes, which I definitely see a lot of the Scarlet Heroes in it. I do have some experience with Scarlet Heroes. Thank you, Brian James. Perilous Wilds, Tome of Adventure Design. It's got some stuff, and it definitely shows where it uses the resources. So, first and foremost, about the armor class system, what is it? Well, for those of you that are diehard descending armor class guys, you are probably going to be disappointed because it is ascending armor class. That being said, it's not the end of the world. It's also a classless system where all the players are assumed to be humans, and you choose or randomly roll two previous occupations that you had before you started adventuring, and based upon that, you can come up with a class idea, and it has tables for all these different classes like knights, clerics, mages, assassins, alchemists, etc., etc. Starting weapon, starting armor, auxiliary gear. There you go. But it also lists. It also has a reference to a table in the back for generating humanoid creatures as an option in case you didn't want to play as a human. So you have your classic elf, dwarf, and halfling, but you also have bugbear, kobold, orc, goblin, that kind of thing. So totally doable in this. I could definitely see if you've never seen Me, Myself, and Die. That's probably one of the few Let's Play channels that I do recommend because I do actually watch that quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff in here. You can definitely see where it took from Ironsworn, and you definitely see where it took from like uh, Worlds Without Number and all that, and Perilous Wilds and all that. Like you can definitely see that, and it's nice to have it all in this one little book. This does have a hex generator, which I think is sorely missed in a lot of BX style games. It has a settlement generator, dungeon generator. My one complaint about the dungeon generator is I believe that is a little too bare bonesy. Like it doesn't necessarily give you a lot of sizes, but or shapes really. That being said, it's not the end of the world. You can come up with something. Really, it has like dungeon themes, dungeon foundation, who built it, dressing, features, that kind of thing. And really, if you have that stuff, you can probably come up with something. And like it, of course, has taverns, rivers, antechambers, kitchens, blah blah blah. So, and then of course it has like generating weather and play procedure, the adventuring day. The referee rolls for weather at the start of the day. The PCs choose the course of action to delve, travel, search, or forage. Forage. I need to enunciate. Referee rolls to see if anything unexpected happens. Resolve any unexpected encounters or events and continue on with the day. The PCs eat their meal, rest at the end of the day. Referee rolls to see if anything happens at night. Pretty straightforward. Talks about dungeon adventuring, talks about wilderness adventuring, quest types, generating quests, coming up with ideas of quests. It has magic item generators. It has creature generator, which is great because the bestiary in this only has 38 creatures, which is not terrible. It's not horrible, but if you're expecting like this big thick thing, you're not going to get that here. However, it does have a pretty decent mix, and of course, it has your classics: orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears, that kind of thing. Yeah, vampires, wraiths, zombies, skellimans, everything. So on that side, and of course, it has dragons. I mean, it'd be terrible if it didn't have dragons. But you're like, oh, I want this, I want this, and da 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 da. Well, you can port in from another game. That's an option. Or you can come up with it yourself using the rules. It does. I mean, again, it has a creature generator. Also has character personality generators. Characters run into a random NPC. Who is this NPC? How does he sound? What does he look like? How does he dress? That kind of thing. Everything from a squeaky voice to a long beard he can have. So, has name generator in the back. So, like, if you're looking for, okay, let's say you made it, okay, and it even presumes that maybe it's not just a human, but like it breaks it up into categories like human, halfling, or gnome, and then other races. And then the other races are listed as elf, dwarf, orc, bug, so they have their proper tables. But if you're playing a human, halfling, or gnome, okay, so this is a D66 kind of thing. What that means is we take two D6s, but we count them individually rather than as one total sum. So we have 6 tables here of what we're going to get. We rolled a 4, so we're going to be using table 4. Our first result is a 5, so there's 5 and 3, so 53. And our result for our name is Mura, so there you go. There's your name, just as an example. It has example magic items in the back, so like your it's not very deep, but I mean it just it tells you what it is. But again, it'll help you generate treasure and magical items and everything, and it has GM and solo tools. So like if you're into, and this is something I could definitely see myself solo gaming. It's got an oracle. It's got random tables, random events, nouns, and verbs to help determine what happened, what's going on with my character. It also comes up. It comes with rules. Like I've seen a lot of like, especially Iron Sworn is one, and I've seen Cairn I think had it, and quite a few others. I think Knave has it too. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about Knave. But, scars and scratches. So, like, let's say, okay, I've been reduced to 0 HP. Am I going to live? Well, if we're in a solo game, let's say, okay, we need to beat a 15. We did not beat a 15, so we probably died. Or we have a scar or a scar or scratch. So let's just say, and we're assuming we don't have a constitution modifier, right? So we roll 2d6s. So let's see what the result was. So 10, we had just a scratch, a lucky escape. I rejoined the fight with 1 HP. But it also has permanent scars. So it has some pretty long-lasting scars and stuff like that. So, and then of course there's fatal wound, helpless, death in an hour unless magically healed. And then of course it has player aids in the back. It's got Hexmac worksheet, it's got dungeon worksheet, it's got it has a timetable back here for helping to keep track of time. It's got a house rules section back here. I've seen a lot of games start to do that now. White Box did it first. I'm just saying. But at least White Box was the first one I was saying. And of course, your character sheet. And again, the cool thing is this is available. Say it with me, kids. online for free in PDF form. So if you are interested in checking this out but don't feel like paying $20 right now to wait for it to come from Amazon, you can go online and find it for absolutely stinking free. And of course, it comes with a bunch of different files. So like you can print off your worksheets, you can print off your character sheets. Um, the only thing you need to play the game is pencil, paper, and your standard array of RPG dice. So it has rules for evasion and pursuit and stuff like that, and it's got your initiative. It uses it's got different initiative based upon whether you're playing as a group, like a traditional standard uh, uh, session game master player characters party dynamic, or if you're a solo gamer. So like it's got some optional rules that'll be applicable to you if you're one of those people that solo game. And I can see myself using this. I really can. Of course, it has turn undead. It has reaction rolls. It has everything that you could possibly want. Like this literally is OSR BX compatible. Like I said, if you didn't want to play human, it presumes that you're going to play human. But if you didn't want to play human, you can literally just play as something else and come up with the equivalent. It's not really that hard to figure out. Hit dice are going to be the same that what you're used to in BX style play. It goes up to level 10, and that's it. Which, honestly, personal opinion, I think the game is the most fun between levels 1 and 3. I really do. I think that basic, Mold basic, or even Mincer basic leveling uh, from 1 to 3 is when the game is most fun. So treacherous, deaths hit harder. Um, but the victories are very rewarding, and really it's cool to see your characters reach level 2 and they're all stoked, because it does feel like an accomplishment, something that is sorely missed in gaming right now. But anyways, you're listening to me ramble right now, and I need to close this out. So final verdict, totally happy with this product. There's some things you can take out of or replace, or you can play it as is. I it it's nice to have a book that really does have a bunch of these different variations in one volume. It's really cool to see Scarlet Heroes and Iron Sworn and BX and all this stuff kind of amalgamated into a very short, digestible thing. I mean, look, it's how many pages? 50, 58, 59, and and like 12 of those pages is those player character aid worksheets. You know what I mean? So it's honestly less than 50. It's really cool to see that. I feel like that again, I had never heard of it. I found it by accident, and I tend to kind of find these weird esoteric things. I tried looking for where other people were talking about it online. Didn't really see it much, but I mean, occasionally, but not really a whole lot of fanfare behind it. I think it's really cool. Um, Again, I think if you're going to have a BX style game, have a free PDF online for free. I've always felt like that was the biggest selling point for Chris Gonerman's basic fantasy RPG system. It's the fact that physical copies were so dirt cheap, and it was literally available online for free. I feel like that's what made White Box work, available online for free, just as cheap as Chris Gonerman's. I think it works. Um, I'm glad I have it. I don't regret this purchase. If I could give it a score, I would give it a 4.5. My biggest gripe is it does have awesome graphs and graphics and things to kind of help illustrate that level of play, tables and illustrations and flow charts and all that. I mean, it really does. And it's beautiful, and there's a lot of color in it. It's really cool. And the coloring is very cool in in the sense that it's opposite of hot, meaning that it's easier on the eyes because there's a lot of blues and there's a couple of greens. There's very little red, there's very little yellow, so it's not really hard on the eyes. It's very cold reading, and it's very easy on the eyes. That being said, there are a couple of pages where it does get a little bit busy. A little bit too much of it's kind of crammed into one space. But the pages are white like they're supposed to be. I didn't notice any kind of ink running off. Honestly, it was just well put together. I can't think of, aside from a couple pages being busy. I really can't think of anything that would really hurt the reading experience. Font size. I need to talk about font size. That's important to a lot of people. Um, Kind of standard basic affair. Don't know what typesetting it is. Um, you know what I mean? Looks like the font style is possibly that Sautang style you see a lot. In terms of the font size, I mean it's readable. There's nothing that I noticed right off the bat that's super um, small. It's really cool. It really is. And I'm going to print off a bunch of worksheets of these so I can use it. Um, my copy says that it is used, but the spine's not even broken. So, and the print date in the back says May 9th, 2024, meaning it was made last year. So I assume it sat in a warehouse or some kind of storage. I mean, it doesn't seem used. But anyways, yeah, I highly recommend it. I think you should check it out. Of course, your mileage may vary. Um, your mileage may vary, but I think it's great. I think it's excellent. I can definitely see this A as a solo thing and B as something for me and my wife and my kids to sit down with and just roll a couple characters up and just take off. You know what I mean? And honestly, that at the end of the day, I think that's what the important thing is. It's really cool to plan things, and I think a lot of people realize my stance on this. I think because I use mostly random generators as a way to prompt ideas for myself. Sometimes it's okay to randomly generate these things, just don't slavishly hold yourself to them. But I think when it comes to solo play, there's a lot of interpretation. I think, honestly, the best way to run sandboxes is to act like you're doing solo play because there's so much adjudication when it comes to solo play upon interpretation and how this is going to work for the game going right now. That honestly, I think if you're going to use random tables, it should be like that just for a group. You know what I mean? Adjudicate the result, judge whether this is even playable, because at the end of the day, the game has to be playable to be fun. Uh, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Uh, I'm planning on doing a part two to really deep dive into this thing because, again, I think it's a great product. Um, I think Mr. Ollie knocked a home run out of the park on this one. I really do. Uh, it's cool seeing all this stuff amalgamated into one digestible size. So it's got the Kentucky Rex stamp of approval, if that's worth anything. It's not, but I like it. So I do recommend it. And again, if you're on the fence, download the PDF, thumb through it, and if you don't like it, okay. If you like it, decide you don't want to print it off. You want a hard copy, but you don't want to print it off. It's on Amazon for like $20. So not super expensive. I feel like that's a little high, but uh, so that's kind of like plays into my score a bit too. If it was like $5, it'd be a 5 out of 5. I could look over like the muddy pages or the busy pages and all that. But anyways, as always, guys, take care. God bless. I'll see you on the other side.